And now it is my honor to introduce our Rotary International Director, your friend and mine, Patrick Eakes. Take it away, Patrick.
Thank you, Andy. Today is a very special day in many countries around the world as we honor our veterans. Veterans have a deep understanding of Rotary's motto of service above self. We appreciate all of the veterans on this call, and we sincerely appreciate your service to your countries and to the world. Also, it's a pleasure to see so many people on this call who are interested in bringing new members into their clubs in a welcoming and effective way. Ensuring that new members have good early experiences in Rotary is crucial. Successful onboarding makes members feel welcome, well-informed, and engaged. Good onboarding is also interactive. We learn about new members, they learn about our club, and we both figure out where they best fit in immediately. When new members understand their roles and see their impact, they're more likely to stay active and committed. Here's why that's so important. We lose 50% of new members in the first 3 years. Yes, you heard that right. We lose half of our new members in their first 3 years of membership. That's why we must have effective onboarding of our new members. Today, we are pleased to have two presenters whose clubs have an outstanding history of growth. Their onboarding process engages new members immediately and helps those new members make the club even more welcoming and more vibrant for future new members. Our first speaker is past President Connolly Smith from Rotary Club of Pittsboro, North Carolina. She'll tell you about her club's 3-year slide in membership that drove the club to make significant changes. They refocused and said, members are our mission, and came up with the 3 C's for success onboarding that reversed the slide they had experienced. Now, after 3 years of consistent growth, they have doubled in size. Connolly, thank you for joining us today, my friend. Please tell us about your club and the 3 C's.
Yes. Can you imagine being in a Rotary Club and losing half of your membership in a year's time? This was my club's wake-up call in 2021. We got down to 28 members, and we had a member retention rate of 74%. Today, we have 56 members with 3 new member applications on the way with a member retention rate of 90%. So how did we do it? I'm here to share with you our 3 C's for success when it comes to member onboarding and engagement. Clearly, we had a problem, and we decided to face it head on. We worked on every part of our new member process, from recruitment to committee placement. And what we quickly realized was this: our members were our mission. To succeed, we needed to know our members, especially our newest members. To facilitate our mission, we started with a small group of new member ambassadors. Look, y'all, call it what you want. Ambassadors, the membership committee, the welcome wagon. The point is, we wanted intentional, friendly faces to sit with our new members at club meetings, to introduce them to other club members, to answer their questions, and to invite them to socials and service projects. What we found was when we had built-in accountability partners, our new members became more engaged with our club. So now that we were building that trust and engagement, our next step was to orient and place our new members. We decided to offer monthly new member orientation. We scheduled these conveniently before a club meeting. In fact, it was strategically scheduled to be the same club meeting when our new members would be inducted. We'd have a few board members there to bring welcome and support our membership chair. And then at the orientation, we'd present their new member handbook, which was full of information about our club. Our goal was twofold. First, to acclimate the new members to our club by reviewing certain programs and projects. But more importantly, it was to get to know our members. These orientations were intentionally conversational. We wanted our new members to talk to us, to hear what got them excited about being in Rotary. So from listening, we could better plug in these new members to what they wanted their Rotary experience to be. Part of our new member orientation does include an overview of all of our club's committees, but remember everyone, this is not a set and get. We were encouraging conversation, and to do that, we had some visual aids to help move the conversation along. We had the new member handbook, and we encouraged them to take a look at the club committee page. You'll see on the screen an example of this. We also had a rolling slide presentation with pictures of all of our service projects and some of our signature programs. So by seeing what we were doing and what we could offer them, they could speak up and tell us what they liked. So from there, we'd encourage them to rank their top 3 committees, and then we'd set up an introduction to those selected committee chairs. This last and final tip is pretty radical, so listen up. At least once a year, we allow our members to complete a membership survey. This is strategically sent out about a month before our board retreat, so the board can go into the annual planning process, knowing what our club members are thinking and feeling. We're very proud that over the past few years, we're seeing a common trend in these membership surveys. Year over year, our members tell us they join Rotary because they want to network and give back to the community. But when you ask them why they stay, the answers are overwhelmingly service and fellowship. To us, this means that we're doing a good job keeping our members happy, which is an excellent return on investment in terms of our recruiting efforts. Because why go through the trouble of recruiting if you can't keep your members and you can't keep them happy and engaged? So here's our secret sauce. We worked on creating value for our members. For our club, it really came down to making sure we were offering programs and activities that aligned with the 4 pillars of our club: networking, service, fellowship, and leadership development. Remember those new member orientations I mentioned earlier and how I said we wanted them to be conversational? We wanted to hear why they wanted to join Rotary. Here's the deal. We respected whatever they told us. If they were here to network, there was no use in forcing them to do anything else. Yes, of course, we would promote and invite them, but I'm going to tell you a secret. It is okay if the only reason they come to a club meeting is to network. So let's make sure we have an element of networking in all of our club meetings. Our board does try to be very intentional and strategic on offering a nice cadence of various programs and activities that fit those 4 pillars. So essentially, everyone is happy and everyone is experiencing value in their membership. by focusing on building connections with our new member ambassadors, and then improving our committee placement process and the new member orientations, and then finally wrapping it all up by creating value for our members, we were able to see a positive and steady membership growth and retention over these past 4 years. I've shared with you our club's 3 C's for success: connection, committee placement, and creating value. And I hope you can use these to have similar results in your club. We're now going to shift a little bit further south for a different club story. We're going to the South Ocean Club in the Bahamas. I, for one, am going to listen closely since this club has had outstanding success. Get this. An average club loses 15% of its members each year. South Ocean only loses 7%. An average club gains 15% membership each year. South Ocean gains 40% each year. I've got to tell you, when the temperatures start dropping in North Carolina, I might need to go down to see what they're doing in person, maybe for more than a couple of days. David Bullock is the past president of the South Ocean Club in the Bahamas. They're a relatively new club that started strong and has gotten stronger each year. I know I've already picked up a few tips that will help my club. So Dava, please share with us your club story.
Thanks, Connolly. Hello, everyone. I am excited to share about the Rotary Club of South Ocean and how we view onboarding and engagement as critical to our success. We are proud of our vibrant, supportive, and inclusive culture, and I'll share how we bring that to life using 3 key themes: welcome, engage, and serve. We serve. But first, let me share a little history about our young but mighty club. We are the youngest Rotary Club in the Bahamas, chartered just 3 years ago on February 17th, 2021, during the COVID pandemic. Can you believe it? We started when we held virtually and eventually evolved into a hybrid approach. The leadership created an environment that continues to attract professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs with a heart of service and fellowship, evidenced by the 150% increase in members from 2021 to 2022, a 40% attraction rate, and 7% attrition rate. I've been secretary since we started, and I've seen our leaders and directors set a mission that we serve. There's no secret formula to our success. We simply understood the vision of our club and continue to work towards doing things the Rotary way. The W in the acronym stands for perpetuating a welcoming culture. As a new club, setting the tone or culture is key. At meetings, our new members are highlighted and recognized. Prospective members are introduced and invited to tell us about themselves during the meetings. Members are with a special acknowledgement of which members invited them or whether they joined us after seeing our service projects and activities on social media. We do not leave the meetings without welcoming them. Every member that we have inducted has commented how welcomed they felt. We also have a Friends of RCSO WhatsApp group chat, which gives persons a feel or glimpse of the energy in the club based on interaction in the group. We have since created a dedicated WhatsApp group for prospective members, and given our dynamic and our demographic, it works. we recognize each other. And most importantly, we think of ourselves as family. The E in the acronym stands for engage. Given the predominant demographic of 30 to 50-year-olds, we know that personalization and innovation encourages involvement. But the following tips can assist any club. For example, we conduct a Rotary educational session for our prospective members and new members quarterly called What Don't I Know?, which gives insights on Rotary history, club history, committees, and other valuable information. We also made bespoke QR code keychains. This helps to engage the prospective members in discussions about Rotary and the club, which when scanned can take you to our club interest form and club runner page. They scan the QR code and voila, the discussion starts. Additionally, our wellness committee reaches out to our members during challenging times with small gestures like sending flowers, showing that our club stands by its members like family. Also, the board divides the names of those members we haven't seen in a while to give them a call. We also conduct biannual membership surveys to ensure that we remain in tune with our members. The serve is for what we all do best, serve the community. We take feedback from our surveys and individual members to understand what can be improved or added. One point was the need for service opportunities that are not only on the weekends. And so we conducted 2 service meetings in preparation for 2 of our major community service projects. It was well received and the members felt a part of the initiatives. Our directors, our committees, they truly believe in the projects and initiatives that we do, which leads to an enthusiasm that encourages commitment and participation in planning and execution. At RCSO, members stay because they genuinely love what we stand for: a welcoming, engaging, and service-driven club. Together, we serve. A club that embodies warmth, inclusivity, and a commitment to making a lasting impact. We're building a Rotary Club that's full of energy, connection, and purpose, where members are encouraged to grow and lead. And that's a little bit about our young but mighty club, RCSO. Thank you, and I will turn it over to one of the MAP team members.
Thank you, David. And thank you, Connolly. I'm Mike Dara, and a member of the MAP team. Connolly and David will join us in a moment for your questions and answers. So enter your questions by clicking on the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. First, though, let's review the key takeaways that have driven the growth in their clubs. Connolly set the tone when she said her club believes members are their mission. And here's how Connolly's club gets each member started right with great onboarding. A new member ambassador, someone who sits with the person at the meetings, introduces them to others, and gets them involved. An orientation meeting to get to know the new member and then plug them into a role that the member wants. And finally, a member survey annually so the board can adjust their plan to meet members' needs. Davis Club also had 3 things. They welcome every guest at meetings. They share their story. They invite them to activities. Second, they hold quarterly education sessions for prospective and new members so they see all the opportunities. And third, they do a membership survey. They both feel it's crucial to know what existing and new members want and how they feel. Maybe there's a place for that membership survey that is on our membership action plan website. So now we'd like to hear from you with a 30 to 40 second poll. Please tell us which of these 5 items your club does well. Click on all that you feel you do well. Looks like about the big one. Wow. Welcome every guest at meetings to share their guest story and invite them to activities. And then we'll look in chat for some of them there, but looks like that's the big one. The second biggest one is the orientation meetings. So thank you all. That gives us a sense of what resonates with your club and where you might have opportunities to add some of these other things. We've left time for Q&A. So please send your questions to us by using the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. So I've got one here. Connolly, you mentioned that your club had a wake-up call. Who are the people in your club who helped the club recognize that wake-up call, and how did they get the whole club to agree on the need for change?
That's a great question, Mike. I think first it was our incoming club president, and the reason that wake-up call came to her first and she brought it back to our club is because she really immersed herself in our district and our district trainings, and attending our president-elect's training and membership summits, she could visually see the decline in our club. And then also we had a bold new member come to the president at the time and share his less than stellar new member experience with us. And he actually volunteered to be our membership chair and helped facilitate a lot of that change.
Okay, thanks. Dava, you said your club meets in a hybrid format with a meeting that's both in person and Zoom. How do most potential members visit your club for the first time? And especially if it's on Zoom, how do you get that fellowship feeling, that family feeling? And then how do you get their contact information?
Great questions. So firstly, most of our prospective members actually visit in person. So we get contact from them either through our social media pages, surprisingly, or from persons that we know. And so what we do is we encourage them to come to the in-person meetings as their first meeting preferentially, so that they are able to get to know the members and we can put a face to the name. Now, transitioning into your next question, how do we get that feel on Zoom? I think the COVID pandemic helped us to pivot a little, and it's allowed us to be more creative. So we don't just get on a Zoom call. We actually have icebreakers. We actually have activities that we perform. We call on our members. So we put them on the spotlight to answer, and it breaks the ice and allows the prospective members to see that it's a safe space. So feel free to share. I personally usually pick on, I like to say, our members, ask them, how's the day doing? Has it been a long day? What's new? And so we share that, and other prospective members and members join in that discussion. In terms of getting contact information, like I said, they do contact us, through social media platforms. But what has worked well for us is the QR code keyrings that I mentioned earlier. We all carry it around as members. And so we've noticed that it becomes a conversation starter, and it goes to our club interest form. So that's one way that we easily get contact information. But also we usually have our membership chair or club co-membership chair at our meetings to take down their names and numbers. So we found innovative ways. As a club that started in the pandemic, we had no choice to be innovative and agile.
So it sounds like a pretty organized way that you intentionally gather all that information. And Connolly, is that somewhat similar for you? It sounds like you had that new member chair that chose to speak up and then chose to actually solve it. Is that similar to what you do?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you. And it also sounds, Dava, as though when you're on, if I'm on Zoom and I visit your club, I better not plan to sit down and do something else because I'm going to be
No.
involved.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Connolly, you mentioned a new member handbook. Is there a way that people can get a copy of that?
Absolutely. We do not gatekeep at the Pittsboro Club, so we have shared that with your team today, and they can reach out, and we're happy to just spread the wealth.
Okay, great. Deva, when you talked about educational sessions, that brought back images of sitting and taking tests and things like that. How do you convince people to come to an educational session? I'm assuming something like beer, pizza, or something like that entices them?
Well, more so our members love prizes. So we love things. So they are aware that when they do come to the educational sessions, we do have a quiz section. So a segment, I'd like to say. So there is always a prize, but what most importantly drives them is the need to just learn about the organization. I think they are drawn to what the organization is doing actually in the communities. And they want to know, they want to understand how they can be a part of that and how they can actually add value. And we found that our club members are a little competitive. They like to feel like, they're in the best club ever, or, so it's good to understand the background of the club, and not just the club, Rotary, because it's important to know why we do what we do. But for sure, we do have some incentives like prizes for the winners.
Okay. Connolly, how do you encourage networking at a meeting?
There's a few different ways that we do that. One activity that's going over really well has been show and tell. So just like kindergarten, you can bring something from your personal or professional world, and you have 90 seconds to talk about it. We also do member spotlights about once a quarter, where folks can get up and talk about their profession and how they can help club members in that, if they're looking for a need in that industry.
Thank you. And let's see, Deva or Connolly, both, does your club offer any sort of innovative types of membership, things that have helped retain members? And if so, what do you do? Deva, I'll start with you. Obviously, you've got folks that are on Zoom and folks that come in person. Are those considered different types of membership, or do they pay differently? Anything like that?
Oh, it's the same membership type, but it's more convenient for our demographic. So I wouldn't say it's different membership types, but it is a way that they can engage with us, and it works for us as young professionals, young parents, etc. There are times when you're not able to attend the meeting, and so it gives them that opportunity to still listen in and be a part of the discussion if they're not physically there. But we still would maintain the in-person because we do have a great time when we're together. But it's the same membership. Yeah.
Okay, so the same person might come in person one time, and then the next time they've got to put the kids down, but they listen in.
Yes. Yes.
Connolly, how about you? Do you have different types of membership?
We do not, but something that has a flavor of being innovative is that we took out the price of meals from our Rotary membership dues. So it makes it a little more, it makes it easier for folks because that big expense has been taken out. So that's one innovative strategy. And a second is that we try to have a nice cadence of club meetings. And by that, I say sometimes we try to work in service projects during our 12 noon club meetings, or sometimes we try to be thoughtful if we're offering something after hours or on the weekends, because we do want to be respectful of people's time, but we also want it to offer different times. So for people who can't get away during a 9 to 5 job can still join and participate.
Okay, thank you. Deva, Could you share some additional details about what's in your club's quarterly education? What sort of things do you cover?
So usually we would cover the history of Rotary overall. We would also include the history of our club because it is very special in terms of being chartered in a pandemic. But we also give background on the different committees that we have, what the committees actually do. We also give a little bit more detail as to how those prospective members or new members can get involved with Rotary International in and of itself. So visiting the Rotary Learning Center, what that can do for you in terms of professionally as well, not just learning about Rotary. So it's a comprehensive but short sort of exercise where you get the key information.
Thank you. Connolly, you mentioned service and focusing in on what the member wants, whether it's service, whether it's networking. Do you have any specific service projects that really just kind of fit your club? And how did you come up with them?
This is very timely because we are in the season of it, but I think our club's most beloved service project, it's affectionately known as Turkey Day. And it has been known when we invite guests to join in on Turkey Day, them joining us as guests turns into them wanting to become members. We've seen this happen a lot, but the service project in particular is that we flood the aisles of a grocery store and we buy about over 120 turkeys and ham and all the Thanksgiving sides. And we all load it up and we caravan over to the local food pantry. And it's just a huge, impactful service project. But in terms of recruiting, we do invite potential new members to join us. And the energy is electric and they want to be a part of it.
Cool. Okay. Dava, how about for you? You serve is one of the big things. Is there anything similar in your club?
So yes, we have a few, but one of the key ones that we're very proud of, we call it Care for the Caregivers of Alzheimer and Dementia Patients. So 2 years ago, we took on the mantle of caring for those who care for others. And what we realized in doing that is that they actually felt left out or forgotten. A lot of the times we focus on the patients, rightfully so, but the caretakers and the caregivers, they do pour in a lot of their time. And so every September 7th, we do collaborate with the Bahamas Alzheimer's Association here, and we have somewhat like a seminar or a retreat. The first one, I would say we were so surprised. It was absolutely a gloomy day. It was torrential rain, and we had about 100 caretakers actually come out. And so we had them dancing, they were expressing themselves, and it was almost like a bit of a good relief and a retreat on a session for them. And this year we added Zumba, like a bit of an exercise for them. And they were so elated. They were all on the dance floor and they were having just a great time. And then we also give them care packages for themselves, to care for themselves. So we do, purchase and donate those items like any lotions, any Dr. Teal's products, anything that, they can relax and just relieve that stress. So that is a major project that we are absolutely proud to put on every single year. And then just another one we started 2 years ago under our immediate past president's leadership, Read Across the Bahamas. So the Bahamas has 700 islands and keys. Not all are inhabited, but what we've done is we got the schools to come together on Zoom, and the students were able to share about their island. It gave them an opportunity to showcase their literacy skills and just, get into that habit of reading. And so that was just an excellent initiative that we saw just bringing the schools in the Family Islands and here in New Providence together. So we did this year as well in collaboration with the Ministry of Education.
Cool. Connolly, I just saw one pop up about your Turkey Day. Who pays for the food?
It's actually our district grant. So we apply for it as part of a district grant and we have the matching funds for it. We've probably done it. Our club is 7 years old, so we've done it for 7 years. It's an
Cool.
annual tradition.
Cool. Dava, somebody wanted to find out about your, can you share more details about your QR code rings, how they work? And it asked us to show the QR code thing again. What is it? It's actually, I think I saw it. Oh, great. You've got it right there. Whoop.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
Yeah,
there we
there.
go.
Okay.
Yes. So we
it's a
got
key.
an artist, she designs these specifically. And so we have our logo, Rotary Club of South Ocean on here. And she's put in the QR code. So I think this one goes to the club interest form. And there's another one with more of a white background that goes to our club runner page. So we did it as one of the challenges of, I think, our district governor 2 years ago or last year, I believe, in terms of a innovative membership engagement tool. And so we thought it would be, we are a young club. We like to think out of the box. And what do we carry around most with us? These key rings. So we scan it with your phone and it goes straight to the link.
And it looks nice. And what's more,
Yes.
it's also big, so you don't lose your keys. So that sounds
Yes.
cool. I've got one last question for y'all. When you, I'm trying to think of how you incent members to bring somebody. Is there anything you did, particularly Connolly? You had to change behavior types so that people would get that. First, they got to start asking people, and then that excitement starts building when more people show up. But how'd you get that first oomph of getting members to ask people?
I think that was we just had a dynamic club president that year, and she just had this infectious love of Rotary and did a really great job inviting at first members to join her at district events, which grew our love of Rotary. And then we really started turning around our service projects and memberships. So we were reinstilled with a love of Rotary, and the best referral is word of mouth. So we love to talk about Rotary, and then other people were coming to join. And it was kind of this domino effect of people coming to join us.
Sounds good. Dava, any last things you want to toss out here around that or anything else?
I think it's pretty similar to Connolly, but I would say don't discount, showcasing what you do on social media platforms. That is a major thing that we're seeing. So we keep our PI up to date, our Facebook, our Instagram. We even have a TikTok page. But as minimal as it may seem, those persons are watching, and they can also see that infectious energy and that camaraderie through pictures, through action. And we are people of action. So they do see it, and it does resonate, and it encourages them to come out.
Okay, thank you both. I'm going to turn this over now to that voice that comes out of nowhere and tells us what's coming up. Over to you, voice.
Thanks, Mike. The voice from nowhere, and great job with the Q&As there, Mike. Connolly, Dava, thank you so much for being here today and sharing how onboarding has grown your Rotary clubs. If you've missed any part of this webinar, you can watch by going to rizones33-34.org/membership-action-plan. Should be a link there in the chat. The December MAP webinar is, as you see on the screen, your wish list delivered. We're going to be answering your questions that you've given to us since July of this year. And that will be on Monday, December the 9th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And you can register using the link in the chat. And until then, We hope you're out there and recruiting new Rotary members. We'll see you in December.